I started planning for this trip about 6 weeks ago, and all I could think about was the first time I actually got to come here in 2008. A little different time of the year, but since that time in 2008, I've always thought about this place. I've always thought about coming back. You know, I live just south of Miami. It was a 2.5 hour flight. It was nothing. One of the most exciting things for me leading up to it was the fact that I did get to bring Catherine, and she was going to actually fish. She hasn't done a lot of big game fishing. She's been with me other places and seen it, but she hasn't really been the participant. We flew over 150, 200 miles of ocean and coastline and saw nothing but coastline and jungle and river mouths, the way God made it. And all of a sudden you come upon this little bite in the shoreline, you see these structures, you see this little runway, these cool sport fishing boats sitting out here in the bay. When you land at this runway in the middle of the jungle, it feels like you're removed from the rest of the earth. I mean, it truly does. It sounds kind of corny, but it's hard to explain how it kind of settles in on you once you're here. If you're an offshore fisherman, I don't care where you are in the world, you've heard of Penis Bay, Panama. It's at the top of the list for places to visit for a big game fisherman. And just that in itself, being a fisherman myself, is exciting to come share all that history, all those things that have happened before you and all the things that are going to happen after you. The giant marlin, the giant dolphin, big tunas. It's an epic place. Just to see, I felt like a little kid. I was excited.
So right now we're on the southern tip of Panama, just 20 miles north of Colombia, on the Pacific side of Panama. Originally, this bay actually used to farm pineapples for World War II for the United Canning Company. The lodge opened its doors in 1963, and the Smith family are the original idea and inception of the lodge. Later on, it was sold to A. Kennedy family, and they had another lodge up north, and that is when the lodge actually changed names. And it changed from Club de Pesca de Panama to Tropic Star Lodge. So the lodge has had a very rich history. And recently, 3 years ago, it was bought by a Panamanian family, the De Obeldia family. They've kept on all the original staff and everything here, and for them it's very important that the heart and soul remain the same. A fishing lodge for fishermen by fishermen.
We're going to be fishing this week on the boat called the Scandia, which is one of the original 6 boats that the founders of Tropic Star actually purchased 40-some, 50 years ago. It's one of the boats that has the most history here. 31 Bertram around the world is kind of the original charter boat. They ride well, they run well with a small diesel. They're known to be a great marlin raising boat. There's something to that, something about the hull, the way it's shaped, the way its exhaust come out the transom, all those things. You go around the world to marlin destinations, and somewhere in a marina there's going to be a 31 Bertram. From the time you leave the dock for the run out to catch bait, you can't help from just getting overwhelmed with the view, the things that you're looking at. You run around these points and these giant waves are crashing against these rocks that have been there for millions of years, untouched. You're out there trolling on the Zane Grey Reef for a black marlin, and you're looking at this shoreline that much of it has never been walked on. That's amazing that there are still places on this planet that you can say that about. And this is damn sure one of them. You know, the place is known as a spectacular world-class marlin fishery. But where else can you go and daily have an opportunity of catching a 40 to 70 pound dolphin? Daily. There's nowhere else on the planet has fish that size. Yeah, there he is. Dolphin. Breaking ice. Not a marlin, but we'll take it. Nice dolphin. Nice bull. You know, historically, dolphin in most places run in big schools. They hang around debris. They're surface feeders for the most part. You troll for them. You look for birds diving, things like that. Here, you kind of happen upon them. Now, you might find a tree that has a dolphin or two on it, but these are all big dolphin. They're all loners or pairs. You don't find big schools. And I don't know if that's because the marlin are here eating the smaller dolphin, or because there are so many marlin and giant tunas and other things that eat smaller dolphin are here, that they keep those fish separated. And if they happen to live long enough, they get so big that only the big ones are around for you to catch them. I don't know. I do know this is the biggest bunch of dolphin time and time again that you can run across of any place I've ever been. It's a big ass dolphin. Nice one. Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. That's a great dolphin. Great dolphin. It's a damn good way to start a trip. It's the biggest dolphin I caught in a while. Dolphin don't live long. You know, a 40, 50, 60 pound fish may just be a year old. They're one of the fastest growing fish in the ocean. So when you run across a 50, 60 pound fish, it may only be a year old. If you run across a 60 pound tarpon, that fish may be 20 years old. They're prehistoric. Pretty cool evolution. You know, they say everything's bigger in Texas. The fish are bigger in Panama. What's it like to fish with my wife? We've been married almost 25 years. Two of the most competitive people I've ever been around in my life. How we've gotten along this long and not killed each other, I don't know. But she's my best friend, and she would say the same. But anytime we're in any kind of sport, fishing, running, working out, anything, it's a competition. It's game on. And I think that in fishing, because I do it for a living, she has to prove to me that she can do it as good or better. So it's all day of busting my ass every chance she gets.
Our whole family is so competitive, especially Rob and I together. So for our competitiveness, as soon as we got on the boat, I was already picking my side and Rob was already picking his side. If a rod went off on my side, I better not see him anywhere near it.
Close it, close it, close it. Get in the chair?
Yes.
Tuna. A common thing you encounter in Central America and the Pacific are these giant schools of dolphin. I don't mean mahi dolphin, I mean bottlenose dolphin, spinner's dolphin, spotted dolphin. You see acres of them sometimes, and they're all usually around giant schools of tuna, yellowfin tunas. So when you run out in the morning, you see all these dolphins, you know that that place is alive. You know there's tunas there. If the tunas are there, the bait's there. More than likely, the marlin are somewhere mixed in. The dolphin are mixed in, the mahi dolphin. So just the fact that you don't see that. I don't see that in the Keys. You'll come across a school of dolphin every now and again, but you don't see acres of them. Thousands of dolphin playing in the wake, jumping in the air, especially knowing there's a bunch of yellowfin tunas underneath them. As soon as he put that fresh bait out there on that long, I think it's a tuna. I didn't see the bite, but he took off like a tuna.
Yeah.
Fighting like a tuna.
We're surrounded by storms.
Yeah.
Still managed to hook up.
By storms and by dolphin.
Yeah.
Nice slow pulls. Slow up, fast down.
Right, I know, honey.
You did not just shake your head, right?
No, I was like, golly, man. This fish is...
There's one thing you can't do with your wife as a husband, and that is explain to her how to do something. You're married. It doesn't work. Every married man out there right now is shaking his head going, "You're right about that. You can't tell your wife how to do anything." Now, if it was a mate or another captain telling her, "Hey, reel down, pull up a little bit faster, reel down a little slower," she'd be fine with it. The fact that it's me telling her how to do this stuff, even though I do know what I'm talking about, I do fish for a living, no bueno. Larry, sit down, bro. Let's just sit down. Just let her. Apparently she knows how to do all this shit, so we just let her do it. No leader, no gaff. Oh wait, she has the money for the tip.
Yeah.
Maybe you stand up.
Yeah.
Watch the line on the.
And you think it's a tuna because the way he's jerking?
Yeah, I mean it was like a tuna bite. He took off, but also those dolphin schools will follow schools of tuna.
Oh, will they?
Yeah. Often that's what you look for when you're tuna fishing. Big schools of dolphin, spinner dolphin.
Oh, nice.
These things fight, don't they?
Thank you. Awesome.
Way to go, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Good job, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Thanks, buddy. Brand new bait. Boom! One of my favorite aspects always of catching a tuna, whether it be at home in the Keys or some destination you've been, is taking that tuna that you caught 30 minutes ago and eating a little sashimi right on the boat. A little soy sauce, bleed that thing, cool it. Oh, it's nothing better. Thank you. That's awesome. You have some? Around the world, there's 3 ways that most people marlin fish. The most prolific way is you troll lures at a higher rate of speed. You have hooks in these lures and you'll put out a spread and you're trying to emulate a school of bait fish. Other times you'll be pulling teasers, no hooks, still trying to emulate this school of bait fishing. And when a marlin does raise, you have a bait that's on a leader, ready to go. We call it drop back. You actually feed the fish once they get into the spread. One of the other ways they fish for marlin here, are you catch these live small bonitas in the morning. We have tuna tubes in every boat. A bonita is not a fish that you can just drop in a bait well. They have to have water flushing through their gills one particular way, from the mouth back. And these tuna tubes force water up through the mouth and through the gills of these fish, so they'll stay actually alive all day long. You bridle the hook on and slow troll these baits like you would at home for sailfish, but it's just a much bigger bait. In the Florida Keys, we slow troll live baits for sailfish. Other places in the world, they do the same. It's how they marlin fish here, except the bait's this big, because you're fishing for giant fish. Hand on it first.
I am.
Get it to the chair. Go, drive. Forward, forward. Good job.
Woo!
Nice marlin. Way to go, Cat. Look at that thing.
Woo!
Reel. Reel when you can.
Yeah,
Coming up.
it's taken off.
Yeah. Nice.
Gosh, that's beautiful.
That's badass, isn't it?
Yeah.
This was my goal for this trip,
It was what?
for you to catch a marlin.
It was my goal too. I'm glad it was your goal. Thank you. It means a lot.
If you want to add pressure, do it with your hand this way.
Here?
Yeah. Lightly. Rubber band back.
I see that. That's what I'm saying in my head. I said, oh good, there's a rubber band. Rob is always used to being in charge when he's on a boat. And I think it was hard for him to let go of the reins on this trip since we had a captain and a mate. Rob still felt the need to be a captain and tell me what to do and how to do it and when I should do it. That always didn't work out so well.
The key to having a successful marriage is knowing when to shut up and just let her do it. There he is.
Woo!
Keep pulling hard as you can. Most you have the whole fight.
Leader! Woo!
Good job, honey. That was awesome. You did awesome. That was a tough fish.
Nice fish.
The main goal for me, deep inside, though we didn't even discuss it amongst ourselves, I really wanted her to get a marlin. I wanted her to catch her first marlin, be a part of that, see that, feel what that feels like. And having accomplished that, to me, was worth the whole trip here. If we had not caught another fish, it'd have been worth it for me. And I think it would have been for her as well. She's pretty damn excited about that. Not only was it her first marlin, not too many people say, oh yeah, I caught a marlin, it was 350 pounds. That's my first one. Most people kind of work their way up the scale. She started with a real one. You know, if I had to draw a blueprint of how I wanted this trip to end or work out, I couldn't have scripted it any better. Catherine caught her first marlin, she caught tuna, she caught giant dolphin. The food was amazing, the place is amazing. She got to experience it, we got to experience it together. I think we're going home loving each other more than even when we showed up. Been an awesome trip.